This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 42 drivers, 25 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition. Commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Every summer, Wisconsinites scream as they test their nerves on thrill rides such as the Comet, the Sizzler, the Freakout, and the Stratosphere. But this afternoon, the nearby fairgrounds are closed, and the screams will be supplied by a bevy of racing engines. From the Milwaukee Mile, this is the Global SimRacing Channel's Round 10 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series 2019 Championship, sponsored by First Medical Equipment. Now, last time out at Mosport, Sage Karam brought an end to Adam Blocker's record-setting 3-race winning streak. But right now, drivers are readying themselves to qualify for the next event, the SimPit 200 from the Milwaukee Mile. And with this place's reputation as a tough-to-pass track, qualifying will be very important. See the fight for the grid spots as well as all the simulated Dallara IR Team racing action from Green Flag to Victory Donuts live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Hello from the Badger State and welcome to another GSRC broadcast and the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the SimPit 200 from the Milwaukee Mile that will immediately follow as we do count down to green. There you see who's here. My regular booth mate Richie Hearn is on assignment, so I offer a preemptive apology to the viewers as it's Soup and Crackers. Bill Soup's on, joined by Sean Crackers Ambrose, way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. Maintaining order from the production van, our director Amjad Yaman, armed with the mute button, along with cameras located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by Dougie Beard. Sean, we leave behind one of the shortest road courses on the schedule, most part, and we go to one of the shortest ovals on the schedule, Milwaukee. Your thoughts?
Soup, guess who's back? That's right. Your old buddy Crackers. Right here from this classic American oval racetrack, the Milwaukee Mile. Of course, based on that name, you would figure it's a 1-mile track. It's flat here, Soup. Only 9 degrees of banking. Located right on the grounds of the Wisconsin State Fair in West Allis, Wisconsin. You know, it's a suburb of West Milwaukee. The track owns the distinction of being the second oldest operating motor speedway in the world, Soup. And barring a little break during, something we call WW2, The Milwaukee Mile has hosted at least one auto race every year since 1903. They paved this track in 1954. In addition to the oval, there's a 1.8-mile road circuit located in the infield, but we're not going to worry about that tonight. What we're going to do is we're going to hop on the GSRC IR-18 for a trip around the Milwaukee Mile.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the historic Milwaukee Mile in the GSRC IR-18 IndyCar. Without further ado, here we go. Down the front stretch to this very flat 1 mile oval, taking a wide entry down into turn 1, bringing it right down to that rumble strips and kind of catching that double apex. Drive it straight off the corner as possible to maximize your speed from the middle out. Then down into turn 3, same thing. Find that rumble strips after that late entry, try to drive it straight off. Milwaukee will tend to kind of trick you and think that you have to hug that bottom all the way around, and you really don't. Now, with it being so flat, there's not really too many grooves. You might see guys maybe run a lane and a half off that bottom and try and get a straighter run there, kind of depending on the setup that you run. This is the iRacing default one. That could influence the handling characteristics and everything like that. There you go. Flipping it through the middle of 3 and 4, off of 4, down the front stretch, and across the line. And that is going to complete our guide here around the Milwaukee Mile. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
A lap around the Milwaukee Mile. And the countdown to green is brought to you by Sim Experience. Yes, the team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 direct drive steering systems. By providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective trading tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion systems, and SimVibe software, visit their website, www.simexperience.com. It's simexperience.com with a big X, experience.com. Use the promo code SimXLion, SimXLion. We'll do that for you to get 5% of the SimVibe software. Okay, that's a bit of a hang-up, Soup. You didn't warn me on that one.
It's like the extra large ions that we have that's very important on this broadcast. All right, let's go to the points right now. And these come to you courtesy of, who's sponsored these? This is the First Medical Equipment. All right, Adam Blocker has 3 wins. Dan Guerin has 2 wins, but 2 consecutive 26th place finishes. Boy, that is consistency that you just don't want. Andrew Kinsella, get this, that kid has yet to podium. He sits in 3rd. Connor Harrington, you want to understand what Connor Harrington is like? 4 finishes 7th or better, 4 finishes 20th or worse. And the Big Dipper is our spotlighted driver, Brandon Limkeman, down 8 spots in the wake of a 34th place result as most work. Let's go to the team championship here. Everyone holds station up on top of the driver. The team I want to talk about once again is Skid Mark Black. They win the day last time out in Canada. Brian Beard was 9th, Paul Jenkins 18th, and James Brandt was 22nd. There was a close battle, but they won it by a handful of points, and you can see that they move up 2 spots in the standings, now in 4th. But and those are brought to you courtesy of Plasma Tracks. And now we go to the rookie that Sean's going to talk about.
Yes, let's go to the Lionheart IndyCar Series Rookie of the Year standings presented by Butt Kicker. Damon Martinez currently sitting fifth overall here. Now, Sage Karam is up 10 spots after that last win, Soup, and now 2 wins on the season. And John G. Hill, another big mover, up to 16th overall, now with the best finish in 9th. And then there's the Sandman as a 2nd and a pair of 4th places, continues to come up the chart. He could certainly be a contender before this is all said and done with. Dan Guerin, a driver that needs to rebound, Soup, looking at these notes, but hopefully he has a good run tonight.
Indeed he does. He's had a couple bad finishes qualifying going on right now. You're watching the Lionheart series here. Considered the premier fixed setup racing league for the Dallara IR18 on the iRacing service, the Lionheart IndyCar Series honors the memory of the late Dan Weldon. Okay, doing double duties tonight is, well, we won't pull back the curtain too much, but it's time for Professor Lugnus. There he is in his office and in this laboratory. Professor, what you talking about?
Dieter, I was much more of a fan of the Rickenbacker base. Wheelbase. We're talking about wheelbase, Soup. Yes, all right, Soup, wheelbase. There's a few options on the Dallara IR18, but simply put, wheelbase is the distance of the car's front and rear wheels from each other. Okay, now they measure this wheelbase from the center of the front wheels to the center of the rear wheels, from that center hub. Now, on short ovals, Indy cars have two different wheelbases to choose from, either 119 inches or 121 inches. You want to take a guess what they're using tonight? No, wait, I'll explain. Depending on what kind of car you need, either a long or short wheelbase may be more appropriate. Cars with longer ones will ride better thanks to greater time between the front and rear wheels hitting bumps. Okay, a longer wheelbase will also feel more stable at speed due to its larger footprint on the road. Now, cars with a shorter wheelbase are more maneuverable, they can turn tighter, but are also more twitchy and can spin out easier. So now, do you want to take a guess which one they're using, 119 or 121? I know the answer. Do you, Sue?
The shorter one.
That's right. They went with the 119-inch wheelbase tonight. So remember that number when these cars look really, really twitchy and probably spin out and bring out a caution flag. Blame it on the wheelbase.
I didn't know there was going to be a quiz, but I'm good. You know, I wonder what the wheelbase is on the Mario Andretti two-seater. That thing's got to be considerably longer. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the race details here. Sean, what do you got?
All right. And these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz. That's www.minus273.biz. Use promo code, this one's easy, LHRS, Lionheart Racing Series, for 25% off your order. Now, the series detail, welcome to Season 7. Tell you what, they've been on GSRC for almost 5 years now. Season 7, this is round 10 of 24. And, of course, the Dallara I know what car we're in. I've done this before. This is the Dallara IR18. It is an adjusted fix. What do we mean by that? Well, everybody's running the same setup, but this setup was actually designed by the Lionheart IndyCar Series. So I don't know if it's an optimum set for everybody in this race, but it is a good one. Cash and total prizes this season, close to $10,000. Soup, I remember when we were talking about a couple of $100 for cash and prizes a season here, and they're almost at the 10 grand mark. Congratulations to the Lionheart IndyCar Series and how far they've come in these past 7 years.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at qualifying. We told you that we would cover this one as best we can. Look who we got up on top. It's the kid from Bakersfield, Jason Galvin, putting in a 21.447. Michael Goodman's 21.467, so 2/100ths faster. This is a place where qualifying really matters. Some of these tracks where we have the draft track where passing is so easy, this is going to be rough here. You want to be up front. Nice field of 34 drivers here today. 32 were able to put in qualifying time. While qualifying was going on, I noticed there were some serious billows floating over the track there. Sean, you want to take a look at the weather, see what this is like? You can see it in the sky shot there.
It's definitely mostly cloudy today for sure, with spots of sun. It's got the track temp right now at 85 degrees. If we get a patch of sun, that could bring that up significantly. It's now only about 77 degrees outside, and wind is really not going to be a factor here on this track today. Soup, you were talking about qualifying. Pierre Degley, he owns the qualifying record at this track, the 20.8, a speed of 173 flat there. And, the race lap record held by an old friend of ours, Mr. James Krahula, at a 21.233. So a little bit of history here at the old Milwaukee Mile. And, we we won't remember the number of cautions they were here last time. So
yeah, well, we're going to have a
go.
better one. Qualifying is done. Let's go ahead and run down the grid for you. We'll take it a row at a time. On the front row, it's Jason Galvin on the pole, flanked by Michael Goodman. Correct?
Row 2, going to be Adam Blocker, right next to Dandy Dan Guerin.
Chris Stouffer and Isaiah Cousin Dupree in the 6th spot.
Row 3, going to be Row 4 is going to be David Martinez and Justin Bob and Weaver.
9th and 10th is James Brandt and the Candyman Dustin Wardlow.
All right, row 6, Mike Rigney in the number 80. IR18 right next to Stefan Larkamp.
In the Baker's Dozen spot is Tony Schowen. He's going to be inside of Joe Canagan Flanagan in 14th.
Row 8, starting 15th, Chris Lanini right next to Bart Workman in the 09. He'll start 16th.
Tyler Graff and Joe Branch are next.
All right, row 10, Brian Carey will start 19th today next to Paul Jenkins in the number 35, starting P20.
Hidden Blackjack is our spotlighted driver, Brandon Limkeman. He's going to be inside of the Watchman, Mark Cohn, who sits in the double duck spot.
Row 12, GSRC's own Sam Ryman. It's starting at 23rd, right next to the Big Joe Show. Big Joe Hassert starts 24th today.
Quarter century mark belongs to Ron Hacker. Brian is not easy being Greenlee in 26th.
Row 14 sees Bobby Mike is starting 27th today, next to David Altman in the 88.
Cleanest, I'm sorry, we go back to, where am I? I lost my spot as you went to Altman. There we go, Sean Cole is going to be in 29th. And the cleanest driver in the series so far, John Hill, going to be in 30th. Crackers?
All right, Soup, I get Scott Bolster in the number 40. Robert Bluen in the number 96 is starting 32nd today.
And then 2 drivers that did not put in time, George Anzaldo and Ken Hacker. 34 names on the entry list. And Zaldo is out there as well as Hacker. We do have some onboard cameras for you. And we look at the first one there, and that is going to be Groff in the butt kicker machine. Get haptically immersed with some butt kicker products. Our next onboard camera is the Watchman. That's going to be Mark Cohn, and he's going to be sitting in the Sim Experience onboard camera. And our last onboard camera belongs to, there we have Michael Goodman in the 8-ball motorsports machine in the -273 racing gloves.
What a
All
great
right.
qualifying effort there for Goodman today.
We've got all the bookwork in. It's time to go racing right now. The lights are off the pace car. It pulls in. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart, and we are underway with Jason Galvin leading the stampede down into the first quarter. Michael Goodman following him. Blocker, Stouffer getting up in the wall already is Dandy Dan Guerin. He keeps it going, but he's losing lots of time.
Yeah, Dan's trying to pedal hard, stuck up on the outside, getting past again. There goes Wardlow.
Despite Guerin going into the wall, we get everybody around the first lap. We are clean. Guerin falls back into 8th position. Up front, Jason Galvin running away with it right now, cooking with hot fish grease. Michael Goodman and Adam Blocker racing 2nd and 3rd, trying to keep touch. We ride on board with Blocker, looking up the driver in 2nd, Michael Goodman. Couple guys on the move. Dustin Wardlow started in 10th. Is now battling for 7th. Was not able to get around Dan Guerin. When we look back, you can see those guys coming, racing beneath the clouds. Boy, I love that shot as they're all strung out.
Yeah, strung out and scrambling right now. Everybody's still just trying to settle in, Soup. I don't think they've gotten we got a break coming out of 4. Big one.
Yeah, we got a big one here. I think it started with Paul Jenkins. At least he was involved in it. Oh, no, it happened. You know what? It happened right in front of him. This is amazing. Brian Carey actually started this one, Sean. He does a Danny Sullivan spin to win, and somehow doesn't get hit. Watch the blue car. Spins in front of everybody, causes the nonsense. They all go around him. And Kerry drives through it like the kid who's got his head stuck in the cookie jar.
That's crazy. He absolutely avoids all contact there. The car is going to come around. You're going to see the rear end step out on him.
Not a scratch on it.
I'm sure he's everybody's favorite driver.
Yeah.
Right now as we go on board with Sam Ryman here. He's going to find safety down below.
Yeah, Sam's a smart guy. I'll go down here. There you go. He's got the protective wall between him and the nonsense. You can see all the chaos going on to his right. Nice job. Well, we get our first pit stop, and we got a slew of pit stops right now. A lot of those cars are I think guys who picked up damage. Big names stay out. Oh, and Branch gets pruned a little bit there as he comes out of pit lane, but he's got to go in the right direction now.
I see what you did there.
It's weed abatement season. Got to stay in the flavor of the season. Oh.
Soup, listen, we're in season 7. We talked about that in the details. Do you know that they've literally got almost half a dozen drivers with over 100 plus starts right now as of round 9? Joe Hassert, Big Joe being one of them. Robert Bluen. Big Joe leads everybody with 128 starts since this series started. Bluen with 123. The man, the grand poobah, George Anzaldo, 122. Dan Guerin's got 114. They've got more drivers projected to hit, another 5 drivers projected to hit 100 races this season. Chris Lanini, Stouffer, Schowen, Ron Hacker, Joe Branch. All these guys been around for a while, man. You talk about the longevity of a series. I think Lionheart continues to secure the mantle of the premier open wheel IndyCar series on the iRacing service.
Well, and we're back now. And they line up, ready to go back to green with Jason Galvin up in front. Lights are off the pace car. That was a nice quickie yellow there. The beautiful Medina Mendez out of Long Beach, California ducks that car down to pit lane. That's going to last time we see her tonight. We're going to do this with 1 yellow flag. Medina might have went too soon. Medina, bring that car back out. You got more work to do, honey. Okay. All right.
Well, I think they had a little trouble getting, because it was so quick, Soup. I think they had trouble getting everybody lined back up where they were supposed to be, and the series decided to bring the caution out for a little longer.
We go one more time. Okay. Well, I'm going to count that as 1 caution. We're not going to count that as 2. So let's talk about some of the drivers that took a pit stop. Tyler Groff, Chris Lanini, they all came in. Brian Carey, Joe Branch, we saw what happened to them. Drivers who are out, it looks like it's Brian Greenlee, Big Joe Hassert. Our spotlighted driver again, is it Brandon Limkeman? Is he out of, we've been trying, he's been our spotlighted driver for 2 races in a row now. We're going to bring this up anyway because we got to get this jinx done so the guy can finish his season. So let's just burn the spotlight right now. Here's the story on Brandon Limkeman, and we'll bring this up to you here. 83 starts. Sean was talking about all the veterans. You can see he doesn't have a win yet. The top 5's going on there. Well, we got some good information for you down there. Brandon has 70 laps led here at the overall in his life. Now, this is really interesting. He's completed close to 13,000 miles, 12,640 miles. That is, he does that another 19 times, and it'll be the distance from the Earth to the moon. How about that? You don't get that kind of information on race spots. That is a GSRC nugget right there. All right, we have a few technical issues that we need to take care of, so we'll go to a break. We'll be back in just a few. streaming cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Round 10, the SimPit 200 from the Milwaukee Mile, Take 2. There was some issues with the way that the session was set up. They had the fast repair turned on there, and they didn't want to have that, so they're going to have a redo. Consider it like a washout. Like those stormy clouds came in and there was rain, and now we're going to do the whole thing one more time, including qualifying. So sit back and enjoy an extra extended version here from the Global SimRacing Channel as we cover this Lionheart event. Sean, this should be interesting.
Yes, it should, Soup. Maybe uncharted territory, just a bit. Kind of weird. I come by to visit, and well, basically everybody loses their minds. So good times. No, but yeah. So we're gonna re-rack them, and gonna do a quick qualifying here, get everybody re-gridded, and get back to some racing here at the Milwaukee Mile.
This doesn't happen when Richie Hearn is with me.
No, it doesn't.
Now, I wonder...
I'm blaming this on Richie. It's his fault.
So they couldn't set up the grid with the way they had it, so they're going to do qualifying again. So I can tell you right now that Jason Galvin's got to be saying, oh, man, come on, I had a pole position. I got to do that again. Let's see if he gets that back. And then the guys that ran into trouble, I guess they get a little bit of a... Sean, you're probably old enough to remember this. Remember the Dallas season where there was it all was a dream and it didn't count? That's kind of what we got going on here.
That is a well-dated reference that I do remember fondly, actually. And that's
Pam's going to come out of the
really good comparison.
Yeah, she's going to come out of the shower and we're going to start over.
There's no way you're going to make anybody happy with this right now, to be honest with you, okay? Because the guys who were fine and not affected by it are really chapped right now. The guys who qualified up front are really chapped right now. The guys that got caught up in that melee are wiping the sweat from their brows and woo, baby, I got another shot at this thing tonight. So again, I think you're going to be really pressed to make everybody happy under this scenario. It is what it is. We're going to roll with it, and we're going to get to racing here in just a few minutes.
These are really talented drivers. What they could do is just ask them to reenact their first 7 laps, and everyone just follow the same course of action and see how it plays out. All right, let's get down to business here. Qualifying going on. Well, we told you qualifying was important. Joe Flanagan sitting at the top of the chart.
Where is Jason Galvin?
First thing I was...
Now, he's got us lap now. He's running now, so... I mean, listen, you did it once, do it again. It's simple. Right?
Well, now, if I know my Lionheart, I'm not sure if this weather is set, if we get the same weather back, or if this is different weather. Maybe we can take a peek and see what we got going on here. It doesn't look quite as cloudy.
P2, so just went P2 and then shut it down.
That's close.
It's mostly cloudy, but it's a lot hotter on track right now at 104 degrees of where we were at a few minutes ago.
That changes everything.
Yeah, well, we've got sun on the track at the moment.
Yeah, we had a mostly cloudy sky. Every once in a while we get a patch of sun that was poked through. This is kind of opposite. This is mostly clear with an occasional cloud going to come across. Adam Blocker moves to the top. A little bonus here on the Global SimRacing Channel for you.
We're in bonus time, baby. Bonus time.
This is going to butt into my big brother. Luckily, I got that taping on the
on the Betamax.
There. Yeah, whatever they call those things nowadays. Yeah, it's night 2. Oh, they gotta get into summertime. Big brother. Hey, there is Big Brother right there of Brian Carey.
Well,
you know, we go ahead.
No, you go ahead, please. It's your show.
I was just thinking we did the spotlighted driver on Brandon Lipkeman, so there's a driver that really he's sitting now a 12th. His day was done. He was in pit lane. We did the spotlighted section, and he's gonna get to keep racing. So good for him.
All right,
Well,
so fortunately, Lionheart provides us with like a literal cornucopia of information.
I'll
Okay,
say.
I mean we've got this huge bowl of stuff that we can pull from. Did you know that Brian Yazik, yes, Brian Yazik holds the record for the most laps led here at the Milwaukee Mile with 193. Richard Bear sits P2. Soup, do you remember that name? Richard Bear with 116 laps led here. And then, this guy used to be champion around here. His name was Jake Wright. He's led 99 laps here and has also been in victory lane. But 23 different drivers have led laps across the 6 events that they've held here at the Milwaukee Mile.
All right, well, let's go ahead and give you the grid one more time. You know the drivers. I'll hustle through it. On the front row this time, it's Adam Blocker and Justin Weaver. Sean?
Row 2, a little different. Jason Galvin and Joe Flanagan.
Michael Goodman and Stefan Larkamp, 5 and 6.
All right, Dustin Morlow, Brian Carey, 7th and 8th.
Tony Schowen and Isaiah Cousin-Dupree in 9th and 10th.
Joe Branch, Brandon Lipkeman in 11th and 12th.
So the spot is Chris Stouffer. He's going to be inside of Brian. It's not easy being Greenlee. I get to do all my nicknames twice.
On the Ocho, Sam Ryman, 15th, and Bart Workman, 16th.
Holy moly, what is Dandy Dan Guerin doing back in 17th, flanked by Bobby Mikas?
Row 10, Mike Rigney, James Brandt.
The Watchman. In the 21st position, Mike Cohn, inside of Chris Sleepy Lanini.
All right, row 12, starting 23rd, Scotty Bolster, right next to Ron Hacker in a number 21. He'll start 24th.
Big Joe Hassard in the 25th position. And I'll say it again, the cleanest driver so far this season, John Hill in 26th.
Robert Lewin, starting 27th this time, next to George Ansaldo, 28th.
David Altman and Paul Jenkins go 29th and 30th as the pace car begins to roll.
Sean Cole starting 31st in this one, next to Damon Martinez in the number 3.
Still waiting for my shout out on Sean Cole's podcast there, whatever he has, that little thing he does. Ken Hacker and Tyler Graff, 33rd and 34th.
I'm going to guess that he doesn't think it's that little suit, but
It's a
I don't
darn
know.
good show.
Just,
It is
I'm just saying.
I know I gave a Marcel Marceau reference the other day. You got to turn into the Marcel Marceau podcast. It's amazing.
They're still running that thing, huh?
That's right. Okay, let's get this show on the road. I realize I have not updated some of my timing and scoring. This will lead to some interesting calls for me, but I'm a professional. I'll figure this out.
200 laps, Soup. 200 laps, buddy.
All right. A little dress rehearsal we had going on there. The rain came and got rained out in the 3rd inning. Time to go racing. Gather up the chickens, take cover around the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And it is Adam Blocker out in front. Jason Galvin finds 2nd position. He's got to be happy about that. There is a battle going on for 4th behind Michael Goodman.
Man, this is crazy frantic start. 4 wide coming out of front stretch. Trouble at the pit lane coming out of 4. Cars around. I don't see a caution yet.
Gotta be a caution. No, maybe he spins off. Car spinning off to the inside was Ken Hacker, and now we get it. Not sure if that was from this initial incident or something that happened later on.
Yeah.
It all started with the car spinning in front of Ken Hacker was Paul Jenkins. Jenkins gets loose, and then Then he gets collected.
Oh,
Jenkins continues on.
Boy, and Tyler Graff, you're going to see him make an escape to the bottom onto the pit road, much like we saw in the first the race that never happened, the imaginary race. Should we call that the Dallas race?
That's what we're going to call that. The Pam Ewing race is what I'm calling that one.
Pam Ewing race. Okay, there we go.
Boy, we are skewing old time for this one. All right, let me take this opportunity to pull up some of my software that I did not refresh from the last time. It was still very confused. We'll get that taken care of, and we're going to be bringing you here a full session. Let's go ahead, and we didn't really talk about what's going on. Let's bring up our race analysis. We haven't shown you that one yet. Tell you how far we're going and how far we can go. There you see it, brought to you by Plasma Tracks. A full 200 laps on schedule here for this second running. How far can they go? Well, they told me 52. Let's use our rule of thumb and add 2 more laps on that and say 54. Okay? So we're looking at a 3-stop race.
Okay. We're going to get a 52-lap run, green flag.
Well, yeah, that's what it says for fuel, but yeah, the tires are going to go long before that, I think.
And yeah, this is the cheese grater, right? This track really, really, really hard on tires. It's really the story in the paddock that they've been talking about is really trying to get the most out of these Firestone tires here at the Milwaukee Mile. It's going to be very, very tough. You're going to need them long before you get to the end of a 52-lap fuel run. Only 80% of fuel on this car, and I think that's the max fuel capacity for 80% is like 14.9. Yeah. So we'll see, but again, I think you're going to want tires long before you need fuel on this machine today, and you may get the caution flags in your favor to get that done.
Lights are off. The pace car will pull in. What will happen is eventually the tires will go away from somebody and the car will just be too hard to handle, and there will be a yellow flag. So I'll be surprised if we catch ourselves a green flag pit stop. Let's hope so. Adam Blocker out in front. Galvin, Goodman, Larkamp, and Canagan Flanagan back in 5th position. Nice run from Joe. Back half of your top 10, Weaver, Wardlow, Shawan, Dupree, and Stouffer. You can see it on the tower to your left.
Back racing in Milwaukee.
Everybody single file. There is a nice battle for 13th position on the low side.
Yep.
That is Dandy Dan Guerin. He tries to get a little bit of momentum there on the top. Trying to fend that off is Brian Greenlee.
You're right behind them. You got Workman and Limkeman. Limkeman making the move there on Workman.
That battle continues. I'll just tell you that Weaver and Flanagan are going at it. Weaver has got around Flanagan. He moves up now into 5th. I think this is a case, Sean, of having some fun while you can. Because once the tires start to go away, I think too wide is going to be a little harder for these guys to pull off.
Stouffer up there picked up another spot, got around Dupree. Stouffer up 4 spots here quickly, and the caution's out. It's like Brian Greenlee with a little bit of trouble on track, guys.
Now the meat man was underneath them. I'm not sure if Bob gave him a little bit of tenderizing there, but we'll see if they get together or not. That's Bob Mikas down low. We look from above. This will be a good angle. Do they make contact? Oh, maybe just a little bit of net code. I believe Greenlee was caught up in the incident during the Pam Ewing race, so this is maybe the racing gods bestowing a little justice.
Yeah, I mean, Bob Micah saw an opening down there. Greenlee was running up in that middle higher groove, had been struggling with it just a bit, getting it to turn. Again, the door was a little open there for Bob, and even though it was maybe a little bit of net code, it still resulted in the spin that gets Greenlee around, and he's going to have some work to do. At least the car is not toasted like it was in the last race, and he's going to have an opportunity to continue to fight. He's going to need to replace that front wing. And he is coming down in the lane now for that repair.
You know, there were a series of teenage, like, horror movies where a group of teenagers all survived like a plane crash, and they dodged fate, and they were supposed to die, and then for the rest of the movie, fate tries to kill them all. I kind of wonder if that's what's going on to the guys that, like, had trouble in that first race that didn't happen there. If the racing gods will try. Yeah?
Did you just describe Lost?
No, it's not Lost. It's a maybe it might apply to Lost too, for that matter. What doesn't apply to that movie? But somebody, if you're watching on the YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. And the first 10 minutes of the movie, they survive being killed, and then the rest of the hour and 15 minutes they all die in horrible ways. Check out the YouTube chat. Somebody's going to help us out if they're still with us.
Well, I see Greenlee's back out. He got that front wing replaced.
Good.
So he's going to live to fight here in this race at the Milwaukee Mile. He's going to need to get one of those laps back. Or no, actually, I'm sorry. He will stay on the lead lap, actually.
Some drivers stopped to top off. Sean Cole, George Anzaldo, Chris Lanini, John Hill. These guys should be able to go 10 laps farther than the guys in front. So now we get 2 races to watch. Right now, that group led by Sean Cole. And if we can go green for, another 35 laps, maybe we might see Sean out in front. Sean, of course, the host of the SimPit, one of our sponsors here on the Lionheart IndyCar Series, and a good show it is. Been a fan of Sean for many a year. Working lap number 14 of 200.
All right, Soup, let me get this out there.
All right.
You know, the fewest cautions they've ever had in this race were 4. And that's happened twice, season 3, and I think season 5 was the other season that happened. It wasn't season 6, I can tell you that, because that was last season.
Well, we still have a chance to beat that one here tonight.
Oof.
This is our first caution. Right?
I didn't bring a sleeping bag or
yeah.
my tent, Soup, so.
Oh, this is caution 2. All right, I'm going to get it from our director. All right. Well, the beautiful Medina Mendez takes a low line out of corner number 4. She drifts that pace car up, brings it up high up to the wall, gets a good angle to bring it down into pit lane. She accelerates, turns control over to Adam Blocker. Blocker on the throttle. Single file. These guys, 14 laps on their tires right now. You want to watch a guy who's going to have some fun? Sean Cole back in 25th. Not sure if he's in the mood to have fun, but he's got the newest rubber, and he's leading that group. We complete the lap.
Larkamp here with right next to Weaver. They're side by side through the middle of the turn. Boy, Weaver looked a little loose there in the bottom of the turn. That was a pretty sketchy moment. Or, I'm sorry, Larkamp did.
Justin Weaver and Stefan Larkamp know each other very well. They were in a heated rookie battle a couple seasons ago.
Oh, Brian Carey wrapped the wall coming out of 2. He's struggling.
He keeps it going straight. Boy, he caught the car Everybody goes around him as he falls well down the order.
Ooh. Boy, that was just odd, the way the car twitched on him. That short wheelbase that we talked about in
That's
the,
right.
the pre-race that the professor was talking about. I think that bit him, to be honest with you, because that car looked awful twitchy.
Put him in that Mario Andretti two-seater, baby. That's how you get around this place. Pass for sixth position, driving down low. I think he's going to get this done. This is the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow. He does. He gets inside of Joe Flanagan. That pass made. Just behind those guys, a hard charger. Chris Stouffer up 5 spots. Racing in 8th.
Kerry had to pit that car, Sue.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Three drivers out of the race, Robert Blue and Paul Jenkins and David Altman. 27 cars still on the lead lap. The last one being John Hill, about 15 seconds behind the leader, so unless Hill picks up a bit, Adam Blocker going to be seeing some lap traffic here pretty soon. "21 laps on this stint of tires.
Sue, that Damon Martinez guy is pretty good.
He is.
Picking up a lot of spots again. He's already up, 14 in this race. Just keeps moving forward. He's hunting down Bobby Mikus right now.
He is that unknown rookie that is now making himself known. He came in, didn't know what that was about, but yeah, he is doing great.
Now, is he the guy that's friends with Sage?
I believe so. I
Yeah,
think
right?
you're right, yeah.
Yeah, he said he was one of Sage's buddies.
Who wouldn't want to hang out with Sage Karam?
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Guys living a rock star life right now. Let's face it. Come on, it's not bad being on the IndyCar racing tour.
Want to drop you back to 24th position to talk about this driver. This is George Anzaldo. He's the leader of all the cars that came in and topped off on that fresher rubber. Used to be Sean Cole. Cole has fallen back now behind Anzaldo and Lanini. We only point them out as I expect them to be leading here if we can stay under green for another 15 laps. No, we're going to have to go another 25, 26 laps maybe.
And the caution's out.
And it's Sean Cole who drifted up into Brian Greenlee. Greenlee is a magnet.
Well, he cannot catch a break tonight.
Greenlee just trying to go around the top side. And, the Cole getting loose looked a lot like what we saw before where the car just came around on him. I think he would have caught it. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he would have caught this if it wasn't for the outside lane being filled.
Yeah, he was. You're absolutely right. So you're going to see it here. He was on his way to catching it, but Greenlee there. And wrong place, wrong time. Poor Brian was already a lap down.
Well, 27 laps on this stint. I think you got to come in. Now, the question is, will Anzaldo, who has 18 laps, stayed out? He's got to come in, too. You can't afford to stay out on 18-lap old tires. You will be just a barricade of... Jason Galvin, though, always the contrarian, stays out. Oh, no, you know what? I thought everyone would come in. I thought Galvin staying out would be the contrary strategy. That is not the case. Blocker comes in. And guys just stay out. Goodman stays out. Justin Weaver stays out. Larkamp. Surprisingly, the fourth car in line is Sean Cole, who is a lap down, fifth car in line. He must have decided to stay out as well, and he'll just wait, come on in and do it the official way. Good, Sean. All right, with another yellow flag, we'll take this opportunity to take a break. Don't go far. We'll be back to bring you the rest of the race. Coming your way on IESN, this is GSRC's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Round 10. From the Milwaukee Mile, the pace car's about to pull in, and we're about to go green. We're going to be working lap 32 at 200. Jason Galvin stayed out. He's going to be our leader, as are all the guys behind him. Michael Goodman, Justin Weaver, all these drivers stayed on out. Larkamp, Wardlow. Driver you want to keep an eye on would be Adam Blocker. He races in 9th position right now with fresh rubber, and he was your leader before the pit stops.
We'll definitely want to watch these cars on that old rubber soup as they get past and as they continue to try and hold on to these cars through the turns. Remember, only 9 degrees of banking here at Milwaukee.
Well, Jason Galvin getting a little bit of time to be out front. He was really the class of the field in the Pamela Ewing event, and now he's back where he probably belongs. The racing gods have put him back in his rightful position. Blocker now up into 8th, and he's going to make quick work of the Von Hansen's meat machine of Bobby Mikas. Everybody came in that time except for about 6 drivers. 6 drivers. Okay, thanks. And I gotta question that strategy. We'll see how it plays out for these guys. But
oh, and the caution's out.
Branch gets loose. Oh no, it's James Brandt.
Yeah, Brandt.
And he put it in the tire, what do they call that? The attenuation barrier there at the pit wall entrance. Ow! This one, Mama Jean, close your eyes on this one if you're watching this. Let's hope the car gets sideways so we don't see the wall coming.
Is there any coincidence that that's a skid mark motorsports car? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
Indeed.
everybody.
All right. So they come around now. This time I got to think Galvin comes in, as does everybody else. See, that's why I question this strategy. Now you put yourself way in the back and you've only gained yourself a couple laps. And as I say that, they agree with me. They're going to stay out. The one driver that does come in is Bob Mikas. Now, he was in 7th. He was last of the cars that were on that strategy, so he'll go back to the back. Galvin, Goodman, Weaver, Larkamp, Wardlow, and Mike Rigney. Drivers have all stayed out. Rigney up into 6, up 13 spots. Okay, Sean, we've talked about Adam Blocker. This is surprising to me. He set a record this season. You haven't been on the broadcast, but you're probably aware of this. Set the record by being the first driver to win 3 consecutive races in a Lionheart IndyCar Series.
I heard that. Right.
I was shocked. You and I covered enough of these when there was a guy named Jake Wright that was just crushing. I would have thought that Wright had picked up 3 in a row sometime in his career, but man, guess not.
I saw the stat too, and it was a bit of a head scratcher for me because I really honestly thought that it was something Jake had already done.
Yeah.
Jake needs to come back, by the way. But I don't know. Life happens, right? He is a young man, and I still say it would be nice to have him back. But one of the other amazing things so far through this season has really, really blew me away when I was looking over all the stats and figures that George Anzaldo and his team provides us with every week. John Hill, that guy, John G. Hill, the California driver, he is leading the cleanest driver standings.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, they give an award for that. Through 9 rounds, Soup, how many incidents do you think John Hill's got?
Ooh. He's got to pick up an average of 3 per race. So I'm going to say 27. No, that's too many. 1.5 per race. What is that? That would be 9,
Okay.
14. I'm going to say 14.
What if I said 0 per race?
Oh,
to
come
this
on.
point? And he's got just a big fat goose egg for incidents so far this season. Now,
That's annoying.
if he could step away from the Milwaukee Mile without an incident, he's done something right this season, or he's got an incredible set of angels on his shoulders, one or the other.
We need to get Dirty Blinds back in as a sponsor to sponsor that award, huh? The Dirty Blinds Clean Driver Award?
Yeah.
George Anzaldo, if you're watching this broadcast later on, I'll give you that one for free, baby. All right, the lights are off the pace car. I know Richie Hearn wishes he was here, but somehow I had a feeling he's enjoying the broadcast. Richie, we miss you. Hurry back. All right, again, this interesting racing line by beautiful Medina Mendez as she swings down low, brings it out, ducks it in. Jason Galvin out in front. He's been out there on 40 laps on this set of tires. Blocker on new rubbers, going to get underneath Rigney. Should be bringing Chris Stouffer with him. Keep an eye on Stouffer. I've been watching him. That car is good. I should probably correct myself since they're all driving fixed setups. That driver really has a feel for the setup, and I'm talking about Chris Stouffer. Another driver that seems to have it as we ride on board with Rigney. Looking up, that far little dot on the very front, that is Jason Galvin. Charge his credit card for minibar incidentals because he has checked out And I guess he's gonna burn up the rubber while you got him on. He's only gonna have him on for probably another 15, 16 laps. A lot of yellow flags. Maybe you can go to lap 63. That'd be 20 laps from now.
Isaiah Dupree is in.
And he spun it as he came in as well.
Yeah, and boy, he certainly wasn't out long enough for that to be a full run, so something happened there.
You know what happened? That was kind of an involuntary. He got loose out of corner 4, and the car told him it was time to pit.
Boy, it sure did. Wow. So he would have definitely suffered. That was an unsafe entry. That's a penalty for that.
You mean entering it like 130 miles an hour backwards? That'll get you. Yeah. And there comes Dupree out of pit lane. Not sure if we're going to be able to get that. It was a little bit farther back. Our director's looking for it right now. Galvin, Goodman, Weaver, Larkamp, and Wardlow. You see him on the tower next to you. Now, Rigney has fallen down to 9th. He's a hard charger. He's going in the wrong direction. You want somebody who is going in the right direction? Look at the driver in 8th, Dandy Dan Guerin. Started in 17th. I think that was a little bit of just an aberration there. He should be farther up. Better driver than that. He is in 8th, and he's coming. Guerin with 2 wins already this season, sitting in 2nd in the points, but he has those. He's been hot and cold. Front 5 cars out on 48 lap stints now. Let's look at 4th position, 5th position if we can. We're on it, Dustin Wardlow. The blue car behind him, that's Adam Blocker. Now, Sean, Blocker's been out there for 21 laps. I kind of wonder if maybe the tires begin to find their level. You know, I'm not sure if 50-lap-old tires are that much worse than 21-lap-old tires. As I look and see, Blocker doesn't seem to be having much success with the Candyman, Dustin Wardlow.
Well, I think your perfect example of that right now is that Galvin is turning. I know we're watching here, but Galvin's turning the same lap times as the guys who have the fresh rubber. So you're right. I mean, they do eventually. You kind of get to a point of diminishing returns, right? They fall off, and well, they've fallen off just as much as the other tires fallen off now at this point, and so things have found some balance again now that we've gotten a bit of a run going here.
But the bad news is, as things settle down, and we've done enough of these Lionheart races to know, they can tend to be a little bit of a yellow fest early on, but things do tend to settle down. And these guys up front have put themselves in a bad situation now, as they're on 52 laps. Now, there's been a lot of yellow flags, so let's give them 15 more laps so they can go. If they have to pit under green, that's just brutal.
Yeah, definitely brutal here. Yeah. What's the bogey time on those pit stops right now? I'm trying to see. About 25 seconds? And we're turning 23-second lap. You're surely going to lose a lap. Lap and a half.
Yeah, probably guys like Galvin will probably be able to only lose a lap. If you're too far back, though, you got to worry about losing 2. You can see on your tower, Guerin is right behind Stofers. We ride on board with, that was Blocker, the blue car of Blocker. Up, now Guerin really off the pace. We got a spin in the back.
Oh, Big Joe with trouble.
He spins off the racing line. I don't know if the yellow came out. And he got a little bit of assistance from Ron Hacker. Bump and run don't really work very well in these cars.
Yeah, he's put it by himself, Soup. I really
Oh, well-
wasn't. He just like we've seen a couple of times tonight, just had trouble getting off the turn. The car got loose, and he planted it down into the wall. Could have been so much worse. He got really lucky, actually.
Huh. I realize we're looking at two different realities. So I do have one where Ron Hacker gets into the back of him, but who knows? Ron happy not to give him credit for something he didn't do. Nevertheless, we stay under green. That is bad news for Galvin. As he's looking for a yellow. Galvin, Weaver, Goodman, Larkamp, and the Candyman Dustin Ward. Lap traffic time for Galvin as he gets up behind Ken Hacker now. Hacker in 27th. He's 3 laps down. Ron Hacker, last car on the lead lap in 22nd. Thanks for watching here the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. You're watching it swimming your way on the iRacing Esports Network. Go, Sean.
Oh, I was just gonna. Oh, and there's the caution.
Oh, you guess who it was? Mr. Clean.
No.
I hate it. Yeah.
No.
I'm sorry, but the O had to go.
Oh no.
With 0 incidents.
And man,
if you're gonna pick up incidents, this is how you do it.
This is just the car just gets wicked right all alone on track.
My gosh. Parked that right on the wall. Right on board with John Cole as he looks ahead of what happens.
Man, and I always hate to speculate, you know, how an incident happens, but he either lost the car, just lost all control of it, or his steering went out or something. But that's just really wild looking as everybody coming down pit lane now. Galvin gets saved. Super.
Well, Hill doing his Humpty Dumpty impersonation is good news for Jason Galvin indeed, as he's able to stay out in front. That perfect timing as everybody had to come in. And even with the more empty fuel tank, Galvin able to come in, get fuel, and remain out in front. Guerin goes up to 6th. The question I'm looking down to see, Blocker ended up in 12th. Don't really know if Adam is all that worried about pace, but if you're an Adam Blocker fan, that's 11 cars in front of you to be a problem compared to only 3 or 4 if you would have been farther up.
Well,
Okay.
I don't think Galvin could have planned that any better, honestly.
He had to be worrying a little bit there.
Yeah, he was probably sweating. My guess is he was definitely sweating it.
Out of all the guys to bring out the yellow flag, it's the guy who hasn't had an incident all season long.
Right? Now, does me being here tonight automatically put the commentator's curse on him? Is this my fault, possibly?
That is close to a commentator's curse there when you bring that up, and then that happens to him. In such a fashion, too. The 2 drivers ahead of Galvin are a lap down, or more than a lap down. That is 1 lap down of Isaiah Dupree. And Brian Greenlee, who is on the lead lap. So he'll get the wave around. Brian's been out there for 35 laps, though, so He's looking for another quick yellow flag. Well, now we can give you a good idea of big movers, as everybody pretty much has wiped the slate clean. There are a couple up front, but the first one that catches my eye, and Sean, you talked about him, is this new rookie. Now, he didn't qualify, so I guess this one really doesn't count. But I'm talking about Damon Martinez, sitting in 7th, 32nd. Nevertheless, he's worked his way through the field.
Yeah, but I've watched enough to know that this is what he continues to do.
Yeah.
Damon has no problem working through a field, and well, tonight it hasn't been much different here at the Milwaukee Mile. Staying out of trouble. That's the key to moving up through traffic for sure.
Pace car is in. We're under green, working lap number 66. We are 1/3 of the way there, boys and girls, and Jason Galvin is out in front. Oh, we got a spinning. Showen got up into this Mike Rigney. We stay green. Showen drifts up into Rigney, bounces off of Rigney. Rigney continues. Showen goes for a ride off of the racing line.
Showen put it down there, tried to make a move. Makes that contact, and boy, aside from backing it up into the wall just a little bit, I think he got very lucky to come away with minimal damage and actually able to drive the car away, but not far. In fact, he destroyed the rear end on it now that I'm watching that replay again here myself.
Okay, boys and girls, mark this down on your clipboards. I'm going to give you names of drivers to keep an eye on. Jason Galvin clearly has a good car. Another one to watch out for, though, is Chris Stouffer, racing in 4th right now in the number 7. I like the way that he looks. I like Dan Guerin, the number 8, racing in 6th position. We like Martinez. And then I'll give you the 5th one to keep an eye on, of course, is our points leader, Adam Block. .21 cars still on the lead lap. The last one being Brian Greenlee, but he's going to need to come in for a pit stop pretty soon.
Tell you what, Wardlow having a heck of a fight back here with Sam Ryman. Joe Flanagan at the moment. In fact, there was just a little bit of contact between Wardlow and Flanagan in turn 2 a moment ago.
Flanagan in the blue car. Wardlow back behind in the kind of gray colored machine. Going underneath. Move him up to 15th. That's Lanini following those two guys. And then the orange and yellow car of Samuel Ryman back in 18th.
Yeah, who right now is, boy, just not enjoying this run. He continues to back up. He's lost 3 spots here since we got back restarted.
You did pick a driver to watch, though, as Wardlow now all over the back of Scott Bolster. Oh, my goodness. Comes off a 4, whips the car down low, took my breath away.
And the caution's back out. I think Martinez has had a problem. He has.
Limpkeman took evasive action. Limpkeman was very late to the scene. Martinez spins, bounces it off the outside wall, parks it in the middle. Limpkeman has to avoid him, goes down into the alfalfa, and once you're down there. And going by, I think Mike Rigney got clipped as he goes by.
And Limpkeman got into him too, going by. And that car just got loose, Soup. Again, there's Lincoln, and Lincoln trying to avoid him, went down into that concrete wall.
Rigney got clipped as he went by. Here's Rigney as he goes by. He'll fare better than Limpkeman right behind him. Limpkeman went down into the grass. There's the clip. Oh, and you can see the damage. And then Limpkeman, once he put it on the grass, the car went right into the wall.
Yeah, and Brandon stepped out of the car because of it. He's done for the night.
So, what happened pit stop-wise? Looking here,
Nothing
we see
yet.
that... have they opened it up yet? Yeah, they have.
Yeah, looks like everybody's going to sit tight here up front.
Greenlee comes in, Rigney comes in. Obviously, he had damage, and Dupree. Look at that. They all stay out. It's only been 13 laps. Ryman. Looks like he came in. Ryman and Samuel Ryman. And why not? He's at near the back of the lead lap cars. Come in, top off. You can see one of those cumulus billows coming across between the earth and the sun as we race in the shade. Well, I tell you, that is a pretty Wisconsin sky right there.
A lot of clouds in Wisconsin, Soup.
Ah. Let's take a look at the weather again. Is there any wind? Can we...
There wasn't much when we started. It was only about 2 miles an hour. And
that's
where
not
we're
much.
stuck at. Yeah.
I felt like flying a kite there for a minute. I got in the urge, but that's not going to do it. We are working lap number 77, yet to get to the halfway mark. How many drivers still on the lead lap? Well, we got 19. And I think that's going to be 18 as soon as Mike Rigney gets lapped here as he came in. Drivers who pitted that time that are still on the lead lap, Samuel Ryman. And somehow Brian Greenlee is still on the lead lap with fresh rubber and a full tank of gas.
Working on that Dory Award right now.
Yeah. Half a pack of cigarettes, and it's nighttime, and he's wearing sunglasses. That's my last reference that's not in this century for the rest of this race.
Okay. All right. We'll work on that.
I got 19 years of material I can dig into. That should be enough. Lights are off the pace car. We are going green. I hope you're comfortable because we have a long green flag stint heading your way. Beneath the clouds, Jason Galvin leads them down into corner number 1, working lap number 79. He has been the class of the field. The Moby Dicky machine of Justin Weaver behind him, Michael Goodman in third. All these drivers on the same fuel stint, the same worn out tires right now, about 16 laps worth. The driver that's feeling comfortable, Samuel Ryman. He's got a full tank of gas and new rubber. He races in 17th, but I just don't think Sam's not feeling ambitious right now. He's just back there racing. Right on board with Ryman. You can see up ahead there were 2 cars going wide. Joe Hassard involved in a battle with Bob Mikas. Mikas gets the best of that. Mikas now in 9th spot. How about 5th position? They're 2 wide here on the top side. Dandy Dan.
Watch
No,
Garen
that's
go.
Garen. Yeah. That was Larkamp up top.
Dan sliding around Larkamp there. now hot on the move after Stouffer. I talked about it when we were in qualifying back in the Ewing race there earlier tonight. Garen really needed a great run this evening. He's working on it, getting there now under Stouffer.
He sure is.
Stouffer going to fight him hard here.
I'll be honest with you, Stouffer a little bit better as we run a little bit longer, but look at Garen. He is on the move, give up another spot. And now his momentum is Larkamp and the familiar blue car of Adam Blocker. Well, I tell you, Blocker running that same blue color every race. It's a unique color. There's not many cars out here that color. Man, when you see him in your mirrors, you gotta not feel good about it. He continues to work on the back of Stefan Larkamp. I'm telling you though, all this going on, Jason Galvin is just comfortable. Maybe it's clear air, maybe it's just feeling good, but my gosh, he is just having things his own way right now. There you see him coming out. The first battle you see back there is Blocker and Larkamp. Blocker fends him off. Director, let's go back to 10th. This is a driver on the move, Dustin Wardlow. On the back of Bob Mikas. He continues to work him.
Dustin driving with a big chip on his shoulder. Whoa, boy. Wow.
Oh. Two of our favorite sponsors there, the Von Hansen's Meats and Wardlow Candies almost getting together.
Okay, so to be fair, all the sponsors are our favorite sponsors.
All sponsors are our favorites.
Yes.
That's true. Well, when Butt Kicker starts sending me some delicious peanut butter filled steering wheels, I'll let you know. They don't do steering wheels, do they?
Well, they do Butt Kicker. They do haptic immersion soup.
That's haptic immersion. Look at this race going on back here. Here he comes. That's DeWars Candy underneath Von Hansen's Meat. To be honest with you, I'm not sure that Wardlow's actually racing the DeWars Candy machine today, so they continue to fight. If you're a vegetarian and you don't like meat, go and get some Von Hansen's flavored pretzels. They are unbelievable. And the peanut butter taffy from DeWard's Candy equally as good. Up front, a battle for the lead. Jason Galvin now had a big lead. Another
Not so
one
much.
sponsor, Moby's Dickies, trying to run down Galvin.
Yeah, things starting to slow down for Galvin, speed up for Weaver. He is definitely on the move. I mean, they've really dropped a bit of a gap back to Goodman at this point. Goodman's kind of the man alone back there in P3. He's not being chased by anybody right now. On that minus 273 onboard camera there, Mike Goodman, New York driver, pulling a late one tonight.
A little later than he might have expected with the restart, but he'll get it in.
Well, he has just passed over into Thursday there in New York.
Five laps away from halfway. This stint, 32 laps long, The tires beginning to wear out. They are racing in the shade, though, so this might help them out. Keeping the car off the wall.
I think shade would be the best condition they could hope for here going forward, as much of it as possible.
Well, let's drop back, look in on 15th position. This is the Watchman, Mark Cohen out of California. Ron Hacker behind him. Both these drivers up a handful of positions from where they started. Still on the lead lap.
Mark with the sim experience onboard camera there, and certainly when you talk about exciting new drivers in the Lionheart IndyCar Series, Mark right up there with him. I've enjoyed watching this young man here in the series, and he's got a bit of a following out there, Sue. Big Mark Cohn fans out there. Everybody
Really?
loves the watch. Everybody loves the Watchman.
The
yeah.
Watchman, yeah. Blocker gets around Stouffer now, up into 5th. Nope, let me correct myself. That pass, I guess, was already made, but Blocker beginning to pull away. I'm going to stick with my original statement. I do believe Blocker just made that pass. Stouffer now trying to hang on. Sean, we've done a lot of these. I start to get excited about a possible green flag pit stop, but what happens is the easy part is done. Now these last 15 laps, this is where it's tough. When the tires are old, this is where somebody will make a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, and boy, we've certainly seen enough drivers have trouble in the turns today. Cars just getting loose or just breaking loose for no reason at all. A couple times we've seen that where the car just turned. I see a car coming in the pits back there. I think that might have been Ken Hacker actually coming in. In fact, it is. Ken several laps off pace.
It kind of reminds me of like from years back when NASCAR would have a bad tire setup and the drivers would all be wearing out their right front tire, and you knew that somebody was going to blow a tire and the yellow was coming. And even though your right front tire was going down, you just stayed out and hoped somebody blew before you did. I think that's what's going on here. Everybody just waiting for somebody to make a mistake. 40 laps into this stint. And I believe, if I can read my chicken scratches on my clipboard, there's only been one yellow flag this stint. So we may be looking at a pit window of 55, 56 laps maybe. So we're 15 laps away from that. Let's go back to 9th position. And we look at this is Workman, Bob Mikas. Workman working on him, and now that's Dustin Wardlow. Remember when we last checked in on these, it was Mikas ahead of Wardlow, but now putting his nose in there is Bart Workman. Now he backs out as Wardlow gets around him. Flanagan back in the mix as well. Lanini back there, 12th and 13th. Brian Greenlee and Isaiah Dupree. Last cars on the lead lap. Up. Dupree is a lap down.
I give you the battle between Ron Hacker and Sam Ryman. Now this one has gone back and forth a couple times. Sam, who was having trouble earlier in the race, has seemed to pick things up again. He was down, I think, about 4 spots at one point. He's only down a couple now, but he seems to be gaining some traction now on Hacker here.
Well, if this thing can stay green for a little while longer, Samuel Ryman is going to be leading for at least, I'm going to give him maybe 10 laps. He'll be out in front. as he's got 10 laps less, well, 10 laps more fuel in his tank than everybody else. We don't need to go there. There's a report that Justin Weaver closed up on Galvin, but that kind of went away. But you can see on your tower there that Galvin, who was once out there comfortably out in front, they all kind of ran him back down. I don't want to speak it into reality, but Galvin's Achilles heel has been pit lane, both getting on and getting off. If there's a way to make a mistake on pit lane, he'll find it.
Well, it's not easy getting on and off pit lane at this track, Soup. He probably joins a list of many who've had trouble as we look at the lap comparison now between him and Weaver.
Weaver beginning to come, and Galvin has to deal with the lap traffic of Sean Cole racing in 20. Cole 1 lap down. Oh, here comes the pass. As for whatever reason, when I thought Galvin was going to surrender it, but he did not. That is just not in Galvin's nature. He fights back to the best of his ability. But raise your glasses at the Moby Dickey's Bar and Grill. Justin Weaver out in front. I sure hope they have fish and chips at Moby Dickey's.
I believe we've established that.
Did we? Okay.
I believe they do have a fish and chips at Moby Dickey's.
That sounded good. I don't want to bring my personal issues into this broadcast, but the extended length of this broadcast has gone past my pizza delivery time. This has changed my nutritional possibilities for tonight.
Well, unfortunately, you won't be able to get any Moby Dickey's as they have closed for the evening also, Sue.
Yes,
So.
I would think, yeah. "53 laps is how far we've gone. We put up the race analysis. You saw that they could go 52. I added a couple more on there, and then we have yellow flags. So we are good anytime. And I'm telling you, the man back there loving this is the last car on the lead lap, about to go a lap down. This is Samuel Ryman. Hang on, Sammy. Fight for that spot, baby, because you are only about 2 laps away from leading this race. The yellow and orange car of Ryman does go a lap down, and as I say that, they start to come in, Sean.
Galvin's in. It's got to feel like an eternity coming down this pit lane under green flag. Big Joe's in. Galvin right on the line into his box. Down and away.
Samuel Ryman does go by, so he is able to put, they do fall a lap down. Goodman comes in.
Mike hits it perfect, too. Gets in there. Here we go. Justin Weaver, our current leader.
Who would have thought? Weaver's got to be saying right now, where is the yellow flag? He could use one now as he's got everybody a lap down. He would be able to come in. He's coming in now. And as he comes in, we're going to put our attention on Samuel Ryman. He's not in the lead yet. He's in 8th spot. Adam Blocker is still out there racing. Ryman comes around and he cycles up to 7th, 6th as he goes by the cars in pit lane, up to 5th. Justin Weaver comes back out on track. Galvin goes by him. Weaver could not get going as he stuck behind Mark Cohn on pit exit.
What a
Dan
tough
Garrett is outside of him now.
Yeah.
Adam Blocker pits.
Boy, and not any fun for Weaver there. Blocker getting into his box, hits it perfect.
And as he goes in his box, he starts to roll, going by your new leader, Samuel Ryman. As he works lap 123. If he can get to lap 146, look at this battle on screen. That's Blocker and Weaver. Weaver gets in front. So as it all settles down now, Jason Galvin is the leader of all the cars who have just made that stop. Goodman is right behind him. There is a crazy battle back here between Weaver and Blocker as they go around Sean Cole. Weaver in 4th, Blocker in 5th. Guerin going underneath Cole behind these cars. He's coming. Ryman continues to lead by 2.2 seconds, but he's going to need to stop. I don't think he can get to the window. There he is. Best battle on the track right now, 3rd position, Goodman, Weaver, and Blocker.
I was going to say, it's great to see Sam lead some laps.
Yeah. 1.7 seconds up on Jason Galvin. Galvin's about to get him the old-fashioned way. But things have settled down. Guerin racing in 6th. It will be 5th by the time Ryman gets out of the way. There he is. Right on board with the familiar car of Adam Blocker. Familiar colors. Let's go back up to the lead. It might be time for... If I was Sam, I would pit now before I had to actually be passed on the track, because here comes Jason Galvin. A little bit of a face-saving maneuver would be to bring it in right now. Not sure if Sam's going to get there before the kid from Bakersfield goes underneath him. New leader. And for good measure, Michael Goodman goes around Ryman as well. And let's add Justin Weaver into the mix. Oh no, getting loose right in front of him was Goodman.
Wow.
Somehow, the Moby Dickey's machine put out his fins and didn't get into the back of Goodman. Oh my gosh.
Got a replay of that one.
Watch the closing right here. Oh, we're on Goodman, yeah. Yeah, let's go ahead and ride on board with Justin Weaver. Woo! He's going to come up behind. You see him. He just goes around Ryman. There's the car getting loose. Ryman gets off the back. Meanwhile, the caution comes out, and we believe it's for Isaiah Dupree.
Oh, it is.
Who tried to pit. That's... I think the A-pillar was in the way there, Sean, and he couldn't see how to get into pit lane.
Yeah, no A-pillar on this one, but just maybe a bad downshift. It looked like a bad downshift. And that whipped the car around. Might have went down one too many too quick here. Either that or he jammed on the brakes, didn't have his bias right, one or the other. But yeah, getting into the pit lane here so hard under a green flag.
So this is very interesting now. I gotta see if... I don't think Ryman had come in yet, so I think this is going to work out perfectly for him, as a lot of guys are going to come in. I think Ryman certainly has to come in, but Ryman pitted under green, unfortunately. He wasn't able to get in time. But he does cycle out, still on the lead lap. This is going to be all right for Ryman. This is going to work out okay. All right, well, they sort out how the pit stops are going to play out. You're watching the Global SimRacing Channel. We'll take a short break. We'll come back and get you the rest of the race before too long. Don't go far.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
At your race leader, Jason Galvin. This is the GSRC's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Round 10. Here from the Milwaukee Mile, the pace car is about to pull in. We're going to be working lap number 138. 62 to go from here. Some drivers topped off. Drivers like Guerin, Lanini, Workman, Weaver, Micus, Ryman. If there were enough yellow flags, they may not need to stop again. Certainly the guys up front in the top 8 will need to stop at least one more time.
You're certainly on the back foot here of this race, though. Don't be surprised to maybe see someone step out and, well, do something a little out of the ordinary with their pit strategy here, Sue.
14 cars on the lead lap, the last one being the guy who was leading before there, Samuel Ryman. That strategy worked out okay for him. Larkamp working on the back of Wardlow. That is Wardlow down low, Larkamp up top. Joe Canigan Flanagan right behind in the blue machine watching with a head of steam. Dandy Dan Guerin. Oh my goodness, Flanagan really wanted to get underneath Larkamp, and when he did, Guerin had to get off the throttle. Flanagan cannot finish the pass as the outside line has the momentum. And now Guerin goes underneath, 3 wide, and they get that sorted out. Guerin makes it work. And now he'll take one more while he's at it. Sean, look at the momentum up top, though. I think these guys, Guerin is out there racing with 8-lap-old tires. I think he can do stuff right now that he's not going to be able to do later.
Yeah, and that top line will work for a little bit, but the real grip is really to be found down in those asphalt patches right down there on the bottom where he's crossing into now. That's where you find the power off and get down these straights.
Here he goes one more time. And he's going to finish this one with enough momentum to seal the deal. Larkamp back to 8th. Passing has been difficult, but not impossible today. All this going behind the driver who has really been the class of the field. Jason Galvin. "14 cars on the lead lap. Right off aboard of our leader, looking back at the familiar Dodger blue painted car of Adam Blocker. I think I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the run that our driver in 5th is having. Big Joe Hassard having a nice run in 5th right now, up 20 positions.
And Joe was one of the cars involved in the Ewing race.
Got it.
And no, so Joe, that reprieve certainly feeling real good right now. He's just got to keep it up here for a little over 50 more laps to go.
I'm sticking with Final Destination as the name of my high school movie where they all have to dodge death. That's what Big Joe Hassard's doing right now. Back in 9th spot, this is the Moby Dickey's machine of Justin Weaver. Was racing up front for a while, things have not gone his way. Flanagan and Sleepy Lanini back there in 11th. "19 cars still racing." Well, let's make that 20 if we include Sean Cole. Is Sean still out there? He is indeed. Oh, I'm looking at Mark Cohn. Sorry. Nope. I misread my... Yeah, Mark Cohn is there. Sean Cole is not.
He was the last car out, actually. The last car to retire was Sean Cole. Let me put it that way. Neither one of them sounded good. I'm sorry, Sean.
Few drivers doing some yeoman work. Oh, Bart Workman's still out there 5 laps down, having a good run. Let's go ahead and get an onboard look at Tyler Groff. our butt kicker car. In fact, leave that up there for a minute. Let me talk a little bit about butt kicker. In an oval race, I should do this under one of our many yellow flags, but I'll get this in right now. Butt kicker products add instant immersion to any game, unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force. Butt kicker products move actual mass, producing, you know what it does, a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt kicker products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing you more realism and immersion to your sessions. See all the family of butt kicker products at thebuttkicker.com. Use promo code LION25 to get 25% off your order. Woohoo!
Got Larkamp and Weaver on screen here, going on board with Justin Weaver. Justin, a little bit faster here over these last several laps, and really starting to close that gap down now. Talk about an important time to do it. Now would be it. On a different strategy than Larkamp.
Yeah, Weaver ain't going to be able to go a little bit longer. In fact, look for the Moby Dickey's machine to be our leader here in the next 15 laps or so if we stay green. I cannot tell you how many laps I have called Weaver and Larkamp next to each other. These guys are equally matched. You know what? I'm thinking Final Destination was probably from last century, so. Okay, that's right. All right. My director says I'm okay. Things are settling down. Sean, we've done a lot of this. This is what happens.
Yeah, you talked about this back, I don't know, what were we, 30 laps into the race, that eventually things kind of sort themselves out and we get into these monster long green flag runs.
I believe if we stay green, everybody's going to have to pit one more time.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Yeah, everybody.
In fact, I think we've gone we've gone too far now that I think even with yellow flags, everyone's going to have to come in again. So. The drivers that can go the longest, look for Dan Guerin. He's got about 13 laps on these guys. Guerin and Weaver.
There is actually one car out there that could go the distance if we stayed green, and it's Bart Workman. The only problem for Bart is well, right now he's 6 laps back of our leader, Jason Galvin. So.
Well, he needs it to go green and have pit lane catch on fire while everyone's in there. Yeah.
It's a total meltdown on the pit lane. All of a sudden, this race would turn into a scene from the movie Driven. It's just forget I brought that up. Sorry.
Working 37 laps to go. Interesting battle. And our director's on it right now. This is Big Joe Hassard. Hassard, Wardlow, and not that far back is Guerin, and then in the mix is Justin Weaver. Now, Weaver and Guerin can go a little bit longer than everybody else.
You know what, though? If I'm Big Joe and I'm sitting here in P5, I know I got to come in for a pit stop. I almost don't even want to race anybody at this point. My tires are going off. Fuel load's light. I just want to save the car here. Drive my line. Take it easy. Not so easy that you're losing time, but don't get caught up in a fight with somebody here with this few laps left to go in this race.
Well, auto racing certainly is not a fair sport, and the fastest car, the best drivers don't always win. But right now, if Jason Galvin doesn't get this win, it would be a tragedy. He is. With that said, he hasn't really been able to pull away from Blocker, and Blocker is only 8 car lengths back, and maybe Adam's just playing with him, but let's look at 14th position, Samuel Ryman. You see right there, here comes our leader right up on him. Sam about to go a lap down. I'll say one thing, that Samuel Ryman car, that is the prettiest car out there. Good looking car, Sammy.
And Big Joe on the pit lane. Man is not going to wait anymore. Give me my 4 tires and fuel. Galvin behind him.
Galvin coming in. He has 51 laps on his tires.
That was 51 for Big Joe also.
This is where Garrett and Weaver, it starts to go their way. The question is, will Garrett come around and be able to lap some of these guys?
Galvin slowly rolling out. You see him back there on the apron.
Galvin comes out and he's able to stay ahead of Wardlow and Garrett. Goodman comes in. Being on the lead lap is really important. If you're a lap down, it's not as tragic as it used to be with the wave around now, but if you're on the lead lap and the yellow comes out, you can stay out and you'll cycle around to the front. If you're a lap down and the yellow comes out, you'll cycle around on the lead lap up into the back of the line. So that's the difference right now, as Galvin tries to stay ahead of Wardlow, and I think he's going to be able to do it easily. Goodman comes out a lap down behind Wardlow. I know this doesn't seem important, but it is. Goodman being a lap down right now, and Galvin not.
More cars in. Larkamp, Flanagan.
Our leader, Adam Blocker, it's got to be time for him to come in. He's working lap 53 on his set of tires.
Yeah, he's really pushing this one right to the edge.
He does not want to come in and have that yellow come out. He'd like it to come out before he has to pit, but I don't think so. He's going to have to go around one more time. With that said, Dustin Weaver has called it. Dustin Wardlow's coming in. Yeah. So that puts Guerin, what will be the leader for him as soon as Blocker finally comes in.
Blocker up here on cruise control at the moment.
Going around again.
Yep. What's he know that we don't, Soup?
Well, he did spend most of that stint following a driver, so maybe that had something to do with it. He was behind Galvin.
I'm sure it had a little bit. Yeah, he picked up a little bit of fuel there for sure. I think this is it. Here he comes. Galvin just passes the start-finish line. I have to cycle all the way around.
So your leader now, Dan Guerin, as we look to see how Galvin comes out in relationship to Wardlow. I'm sorry, to Blocker. Blocker is rolling.
Coming alongside.
And there goes the Bakerfields kid. Those two drivers behind Blocker, that is Cohn and Hacker. They race for 15th, several laps down. So your leader now, Dandy Dan Guerin, up by a half second on Justin Weaver. Other drivers on the same strategy. Lanini in third. Bob Mikas in fourth.
And not a one of them can make it on fuel.
Nope. They're working lap 47 on this set of fuel, this set of tires and this much fuel. Now Galvin came out ahead of Blocker, but that doesn't mean anything. Blocker just said fast lap, and I think we better go to Galvin right now. This is basically going to be a pass for the lead here, is they're racing for 5th.
We've got a situation here. Blocker took just enough fuel to get it done. Car lighter, 4 fresh tires, fresher than Galvin's.
Galvin was in there for well, just about the same amount of time. They go beneath the car of Scott Bolster. Galvin can use that as a little bit of a pick.
He used that pick well, actually. Able to get a little bit of separation, a little breathing room.
Guerin and Lanini working lap 51 on this stint for them. This should be any minute. Now they go under Brian Greenlee, and there is your leader, Dan Guerin, coming in.
Yeah, Lanini's going to follow him here, Soup.
Weaver stays out. Right now, dreaming of rivers in China, ribbons around old oak trees, and cowardice. Something yellow is what Justin Weaver would like. Guerin comes out.
He'll come out in ninth, Soup.
P9, yeah.
With a battle right in front of him, though, between Stouffer and Ryman. Stouffer just getting around. There comes Dan coming through. Careful, Dan. Careful.
Bob Mikas comes in. And then there was one. The Moby Dickie's machine of Justin Weaver. Cohn's car looks damaged there. It is not. That's just a little glitch in the by the internet gremlins. Weaver coming in.
And there he goes.
So that means Jason Galvin will re-inherit the lead as he comes out of corner number 4. Galvin ahead of Block. Goodman comes across.
10 to go here at the Milwaukee Mile. The SimPit 200 coming to a close, Soup.
Big Joe Hassard rolls across, and he's going to get the best of Justin Weaver. Big Joe Hassard now up to 4th. Weaver, after leading, cycles out into 5th with Dan Guerin right behind him. Sean, what time is it?
Buddy, it's time to drop that disco ball down out of the ceiling. Everybody get on the floor. It's time to boogie. Let's get this party started.
8 laps to go. Jason Galvin, who has been out in front for so many laps, has a 4/10 of a second lead over Adam Blocker. Blocker has to negotiate his car around the lap car of Mark Cohn. He does. Those 2 cars behind, that is a battle between Cohn and Groff as they race for 16th position. 3 laps down. Right now it is a 2-car battle. 4.5 seconds back to Michael Goodman. He does not have a hope of winning this one unless Galvin and Blocker find problem. Blocker has a good run out of 2. Cannot do anything with it into 3. I continue to worry about the aggressive fighting going on between Cohn and Groff behind them in 16th, but they seem to have it sorted out.
I'm worried about the aggressive fighting going on between Big Joe and Dan Karen back here. Both drivers desperately in need of a great run this evening, and I hope that desperation doesn't get the better of either one of them.
Moving to the outside now, trying to make the top line work. That is Adam Blocker. Garen covering the inside like wall-to-wall carpet. Nothing happened there. Now he takes his half out of the middle. Now he closes the door on Blocker as he puts a nose in there. Galvin loses momentum. This is going to let Blocker get a good drive off of 4. We ride on board with Blocker. He moves to the outside. That's not going to work. He's going to have to wait and try it again. You can see how he lost momentum. 3 to go. Everybody who's racing for lower spots, let's keep it clean and finish this one under green. Bob Mikas is in 12th ahead. I'm not sure if he's going to be part of this. I don't think the leaders are going to get there. 5-car length lead now. Galvin over Blocker. Blocker is really strong out of 4. And he is once again with momentum. He swings it really high. He gets it down to 3-car lengths. The white flag. Galvin covers the inside. Blocker with a run out of 2. Galvin covers the inside. They may have touched. The momentum is lost from Blocker. Now they are Cialis bathtubs through 3 and 4. Blocker with momentum up top. Galvin with his foot to the floor. Scooting up in this chair. The win goes to Galvin. Blocker has to settle for 2nd. We're going to look at the final lap, and we're going to ride on board with your points leader, Adam Blocker. Sean, you think they made contact, huh?
Yeah.
A great run. Blocker had so much momentum out of 2. Right here. He's coming. Oh, my. And Blocker doesn't give it up. To the outside, that's Mikas ahead. We go overhead. On the inside is Galvin, the blue car of Blocker on the outside, and there you have it. By about a car length, the win goes to Jason Galvin. Milwaukee put on a good show. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back shortly to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
The SimPit is an entertainment channel dedicated to the world of simulated motorsports. The SimPit is a leader in providing the sim racing community with news, reviews, interviews, DIY pieces, and instructional videos to make sim racing a better experience for all. Check us out at thesimpit.com or go to YouTube and just search for the SimPit.
Streaming cyberspace into your place via the iRacing Esports Network. This is the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series SimPit 200 from the Milwaukee Mile. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. There is justice after all, as the best car of the day gets the win, and that is Jason Galvin in his number 42. Adam Blocker did all he could to try to steal it. Wasn't able to do it. He'll have to settle for second. Michael Goodman was 6 seconds back in third. The rest of your top 5 is Danny Dangarin and Justin Weaver. Back half of your top 10, Big Joe Hazard, Dustin Wardlow, Chris Stouffer, Stefan Larkamp, and Joe Flanagan. Nice run from Flanagan. John?
All right, I get the next 10, and it's going to start with Chris Lanini. Finishing at 11th. Bobby Mike is 12th for him today. 13th going to go to Scotty Bolster. Sam Ryman going to get 14th. Ron Hacker, 16th for him. 15th. 16th for Tyler Graff. Mark Cohn, 17th tonight. Brian Greenlee going to finish 18th here at the Milwaukee Mile. Bart Workman, 19th for him. And Isaiah Dupree will finish 20th in this field.
Hidden Blackjack, Sean Cole. Good run from him. Ken Hacker in the double duck spot. Mike Rigney and Damon Martinez. Martinez was fast, but he had his problems. He'll settle for 24th. Brandon Limpkeman, our spotlighted driver, once again having issues, in 25th. Tony Schowen, John Hill, Joe Branch, George Anzaldo, and James Brandt go 26th through 30th. The remaining of your cars there, Brian Carey, Robert Bluen, Paul Jenkins, and David Altman. And of course, that entire rundown of the field is brought to you thanks to the Plasma Tracks Victory Lane post-race show. If you're like me and you have trouble finding the perfect gift for the person who has everything, Plasma-Tracks.com not only produces original racetrack wall art, motorsports trophies, home decor, and motorsports fabrications are also available. Words cannot do justice to the uniqueness of their wares. The only way to fully appreciate their artwork is to see it for yourself. But be warned, one look and you'll be trying to convince the person you live with why you need a Plasma Track wall art hanging in your home. See it all at Plasma-Tracks.com. Use this promo code LRS2019 to get 25% off your order. All right, it is time for interviews, and I have the honor of talking to our race winner today, Jason Galvin. Jason, you were the fastest car out there. You deserve the win. The racing gods don't always reward you what you deserve. They did today.
Man, yeah, Stu, thank you so much. What a crazy night. I mean, for you guys too, I'm sure. Got my first pole, felt really good going into the race, and then felt good about qualifying, was stoked about my first pole, and then we hit the reset button, and I joked, I said, I would rather mess up my lap here and start way back and blame myself than run a good one and start third behind Blocker. Like, that was word for word what I told my team. And then I ran a good lap and started third behind Adam. And I mean, gosh, he's so good, and he's the champ for a reason, right? And he and I have definitely had our qualms in the past, but I have raced really well with him this year and respect him so much in the way that we've been able to race each other the couple times that we have. And he ran clean all night, and I knew I wanted to get out front. So when he pit on that second caution, that's why I stayed out. Track position was so important. I don't know. You said I was the fastest car. I don't think I was, honestly. I think Adam and Weaver and probably even Mike Goodman were all a little better than me tonight. But track position was literally everything. So stayed out, and it just kind of kept working out throughout the night. And I don't know what happened to Adam. He had an early pit stop, or a late pit stop, I think, where he slid back. Not sure what happened there. And then the last 10 laps was like, hold on for dear life, because we were light on fuel, but the tire still had some grip, and the track got hot, and I almost lost it in 1 and 2 on the last lap, and Adam got that big run. I thought I was wrecked in 1 and 2. The car just made a move, and Adam got that great run and raced me super clean, and crazy run to the finish.
It was a good show. Congratulations on the win. Way to go. We'll see you down the road.
All right, Soup, thank you. Hey, real quick, this is my first win, and I promise I'll make this quick because you guys are all laughing. This is my first win with Loud Pedal Motorsports. They took us on this year after our team last year kind of folded. So thank you to Brian, Michael Krobach, everybody that's ever been associated with Loud Pedal, Brian Greenlee that brought us in. Everybody runs Thumbs Up Cancer Down. If you don't know about it, it's a charity that's near and dear to my heart, thumbsupcancerdown.com, and we got some really important people to us who are in trouble right now and struggling with cancer. So we're thinking about them and praying for David Marcus and Bob Kuhar and Dave Glass and all those guys out there, and all my other great sponsors, Global Electronic Technology, all the people that do so much for us, the admins, the people that run this league, Brandon Limkeman, First Medical Equipment, you guys at GSRC, and shout out real quick, and we'll talk more about it tomorrow night, shout out real quick to Sam Maxwell Customs. And Sam Maxwell lost his dad this week, so this one's for Sam. I couldn't imagine what he's going through right now, but shout out to him and everybody. Great night.
Good thoughts indeed. Congratulations, Jason, on the win. Jason Galvin, your race winner today. Sean, who you got?
Adam Blocker. Get to talk to Adam, a second place run for him tonight. Adam, Jason alluded to it, a very strange evening at the track. Talk to us about yours.
Man, that was a hard race. Definitely sweating pretty good after that one. First the the server reset kind of worked out in my favor. Got pole in the second session. Just waited for the track to cool down a little bit. Put a good lap in. I got pole, and then as Jason said, I kind of screwed up the strategy a little bit. I mean, it could have gone either way depending on how the cautions fell, but early I pitted when I shouldn't have, so that dropped me like 7th. And then after the next green run, there was a checkup coming into the pits, and I lightly hit Wardlow's back, but it was enough to give Wardlow a wing change and myself a front wing change. So that wasn't good for either one of us. I mean, I don't really know what could have done differently, but yeah, so then I restarted 12th, and I was like, this isn't good. This is Milwaukee. It's really hard to pass. But just slowly over the next screen runs, I somehow just made up track position, mainly just taking advantage of other people's mistakes or them struggling in traffic. It was really hard to pass somebody if they were in clean air. So eventually I was in like 5th, and then I jumped Guerin in a green stop, or a green pit stop cycle. It's P4, and then Goodman and Weaver kind of had to check up or something when they were passing Sam Ryman, and I was able to get both of them at the same time. And then, the last stint, or the last long green stint, I knew Jason was going to have to pit early. And honestly, I figured he was going to come out in front of me because he had the undercut. But I'm not in a position where I can afford to short pit and take risks like that, because with the points and stuff, I don't want to get caught a lap down and end up finishing like 12th or 13th. So stayed out longer, and it actually ended up working out okay because Galvin got in some traffic and I had clean air for part of it. And I really nailed my entry and exit to the pits, and which is really tricky at Milwaukee. So I had so much more. I had a lot more rubber than him at the end, like 10 laps more. So that really allowed me to attack.
Well, Adam, a lot of fun watching you track around the Milwaukee Mile this evening. Congratulations on second place run, protecting your points lead, and carrying the flag tonight for Adrenaline Motorsports Red. Congratulations. We'll see you next week, buddy.
Yeah, just quick shout out to Stouffer. He was pretty big help in that race, between strategy and also just working with me on the track. And just want to say a good race to Galvin. That was a really, really fun race the last 10 laps, and we raced each other clean and got through it. So yeah, pretty good finish. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it.
We certainly did, and we'll enjoy seeing you next week at Texas Motor Speedway. That was Adam Blocker and Soup, the man who finished third, Mike Goodman. It's just after 1 o'clock in the morning, so be easy on him, Soup.
Mike, it's a school night. Have you got your homework done?
Yes, sir. My homework is done.
You had I thought a pretty quiet third place finish there. You didn't have anything for the guys up front, and looked like you were able to hold Guerin and Weaver off those guys.
Yeah, I had a great night. Obviously finishing third. Not sure if it was the second stint. I think when my teammate Justin got around me, I don't know if the track got hot or whatnot, but all of a sudden the car was just was slick coming off of turn 2 and coming off of turn 4, and I fell back a little bit, and I lost my confidence for the rest of the race with that. And then I had one time where Adam got second place from me. He went from 4th to 2nd as the rear end came around, and I almost lost the car into the wall, and my teammate Justin had to brake check, does not hit me and stuff like that. So, I publicly want to apologize for him, because basically probably ruined his race with that, even though he finished 5th, because he was in 3rd place at that time. And besides that, it just feels good to all the hard work and stuff that I'm putting in. I'm starting to see a little bit, seeing some good results finally.
You are indeed. And they're coming, and they're coming often. Congratulations on another third place finish.
I appreciate it.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
down the race. Okay.
Thanks.
Michael Goodman, podium finisher today. That's going to do it for us here at the Global SimRacing Channel. Let's tell you about the people we need to thank. First Medical Equipment. They've been with us for a long time. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. Sean, do you know that you have something to go now?
I do. The team behind the AccuForce Pro V2 Direct Drive Steering Systems, by providing unparalleled realism and the most advanced tuning features on the market, the AccuForce provides a significant advantage to any sim racer. It can also make for an effective training tool for real-world drivers. For more information on the entire Sim Experience ecosystem, including their GS5 seat, Stage Series motion system, and Sim Vibe software, visit simexperience.com and use promo code SIMXLION to get 5% off your Sim Vibe software.
Talked about them once before, but let's talk about them again. Butt Kicker Products add that instant immersion to any game, unlike a subwoofer that moves air and loses accuracy and force. Butt Kicker Products move actual mass, producing a haptic immersion that's powerful and accurate. Butt Kicker Products add that missing driver-to-car connection, bringing more realism and immersions to your sessions. See all the family of products at thebuttkicker.com. Got a promo code for you, LION25, to get 25% off your order.
And to contact any of the sponsors you see on your screen right now, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com, click on the 2019 sponsors section, read or scroll to the bottom where you can click on the company logo and the iconic original music that lets your ears alert your eyes. You're watching a GSRC production, comes courtesy of June Alon. See the screen for how to contact her. On the screen now, coming up here in just a moment, are some of the companies, equipment, and software that made this broadcast possible. Now, folks, get ready, because the Lionheart IndyCar Series returns next week on July 3rd. That's right, July 3rd for round 11 from Texas Motor Speedway, GSRC, and IESN. We'll be there to bring you all the action. We hope you join us.
July 3rd. That's 4th of July Eve. The maniacs in my neighborhood. That broadcast is going to sound like I'm doing it from Fallujah. Sliding across your screen right now are some of the upcoming broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like some more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at Global SimRacing Channel. And if you haven't done so yet, go over to our YouTube page and hit our big red button, become a subscriber for GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Sean, Amjed, and Dougie, we'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun storm of the castle as we watched Jason Galvin pick up the win for Loud Pedal Motorsports here in the SimPit 200 from Milwaukee Mile. Until next time, race hard, race clean, and we'll see you on the track.